Well, good morning and welcome to the Stroke of Genius podcast, Executive Experience. So I get a really amazing guest for you today, Gina Carr. My name is Aaron Atwell. In case you don't know me, I'm the host of Stroke of Genius podcast. And there's two parts really to my show, to my podcast. One, we're going to find out when Gina made her Stroke of Genius podcast. When she transitioned from who she is now to where she was. And so let's get right into it. Let me play this intro and we'll get right into it.
The Stroke of Genius podcast, hosted by brain aneurysm and stroke survivor Aaron Avila, sharing the experiences of survivors and CEOs. This is your destination for inspiration.
So without further ado, let me introduce you to Gina Carr.
Are you tired of unpredictable income in your coaching or speaking business? Today's guest has a solution. With an MBA from Harvard and an engineering degree from Georgia Tech, Gina is the expert in leveraging technology to create stable, recurring revenue streams. As a serial entrepreneur with multiple successful businesses under her belt, including award-winning real estate company and chain of community magazines, Gina is the perfect person to show you the way. Say hello to Gina Carr, the founder of Stark Raving Entrepreneurs.
Good morning, Gina.
Well, hello there. Good after. It's actually afternoon here in Orlando, but we're on to one side of the country to the other. Yes, good to be here.
East Coast meets West Coast. Well, it sure is great to have you. I mean, thank you to Rebecca for doing that great voiceover. Last minute we just finished it no more than 10 minutes ago. So I'm really glad you did it. Really did you good. So how are you doing this morning, Gina?
Well, I'm doing really well. It's a beautiful day here in Orlando, and just lots of things going on. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world, and there's a lot of opportunity, especially to help entrepreneurs, which is what I'm really passionate about.
And your passion really shines through what you do. I mean, and you're really getting into this AI, artificial intelligence. In fact, I got my notes, you increase income and impact using that new AI. But I wanted to ask, I don't get right into it. We only got 30 minutes together, so I want to get as much view as I can. But can you tell me today how thought leaders are increasing their impact in today's world?
Yeah, well, there's a number of things that thought leaders are doing. And one of them that I love helping people learn how to do is exactly what you're doing. You've created your web TV show. I think you actually have two shows, right?
Yes.
You have one that's more health focused and one that's more business focused.
Yes.
Yeah, so the key there is communication. Thought leaders are communicating in new and different ways, and ways that just a few years ago would have been so expensive, just prohibitively expensive. Back in the 1990s, I had a little TV show on the local community channel, and it cost thousands of dollars every week to get the camera person and get the editing, get the studio, and all those things that we had to do. Nowadays, you just have a subscription to a fantastic service like Restream, and you're able to broadcast using your camera, using your computer, and very inexpensive tools. So it's really amazing. So number one is communication through a web TV show. And then another way to communicate well is through podcasts. I'm a big believer in podcasts, and you can repurpose the video that you have right here. You just take the audio and you turn it into podcast, which some people like the method of receiving their communication through podcast better. And then, of course, email is really important. So email is critical. people say email is dead, but it is not dead. It's still one of the most fantastic and important ways to communicate today. Now, I'm seeing a little bit of blurriness here. Am I coming through okay? Because I have a little bit more to add, but make sure that you're hearing me okay.
Yeah, your internet is a little struggling. You're a little laggy beyond you, but I can hear you. Keep going.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so the next thing is that in order to increase their impact, leaders today are creating essentially playgrounds for their followers, to learn, to interact, and to form relationships. And these can be virtual or in person. So some of my favorite ways to set up this playground are Facebook groups. I know that some people don't like Facebook, but Facebook groups are still really powerful, free tools for people to use to let people communicate, share their own text and photos and videos. Again, I set something like this up back in the late 2000s. I had a webmaster set it up for my magazine channel, my magazines, and it cost me, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000. It was very expensive. The same functionality with Facebook, only Facebook's even better. It's really crazy times. I love Zoom events for letting people get to each other and for sharing information. I love the breakout rooms and the functionality of Zoom. So that's a great playground for people. And then finally, in-person events. And people seem hungrier than ever for in-person events, getting back together, face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, belly button to belly button, so that they can see each other. And that's important to me. I love interacting virtually, and I also interacting in person. How about you?
Yeah, you know what, Gina, you meet, they may not know, and a lot of people may not know. I also run a Facebook stroke support group, and it's over 5,000 members. I also run a blog that's been read over 140,000 times, 13 countries. Crazy, huh?
Wow, that's fantastic. No, that's you're meeting the need. You've passed the vision, and you're bringing your people together to talk about and engage in something that they're passionate about, that they want to know more about. So kudos to you.
I really appreciate hearing that. For coming from you, that means a lot to me, so I appreciate that. But you know, the biggest rage right now is AI. So how could talent leaders use the current technology and AI to increase their income?
Well, the biggest thing they can do right now is harness the power of AI and see it as a powerful tool. Now, as you mentioned in my intro, I have an engineering degree from Georgia Tech. And industrial engineering is all about efficiency, getting things done well as quickly as possible. And so that's just kind of part of my DNA. And when I started using the artificial intelligence tools, in particular ChatGPT, I just see it as a big time saver. Now, I like to write, but I'm a slow writer. And so the fact that I can use the ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence, and put in my what's called a query or a prompt, and I can ask it, I can say, hey, tell me what would be a great masterclass on artificial intelligence. And it will quickly spit out the instructions and the suggested organization for such a masterclass, like I'm going to do next week on artificial intelligence. So it's really cool. Now, I look at that as a draft. It's not exactly what I would take, but it helps me to get an initial draft, get the ideas out, and it brings up things that I wouldn't have thought of if I had been doing it myself. And so it's a big time saver. So I've got that draft. I add my own stories to it. I add my own personality to it. And then it becomes something I can use to create the registration page for the masterclass, to create the outline for the masterclass, to create the marketing materials for the masterclass. And I can go back to it with each of these things. I could say, okay, using that outline, create a draft for the masterclass. Then I could say, create an email to market the masterclass. Create the registration page for the market class. Create the registration page for the course that I will offer from this program. So it's incredibly powerful. Have you been able to, or have you had an opportunity to use it?
No, but listen to you talk about it. Definitely. Hopefully there's some free services out there I can use. Maybe they can do it. So you and I will talk, because I think the AI, like you say, does the framework, does the heavy lifting for you and I as entrepreneurs. And I think as long as we infuse our human technology, our human energy into the words, into the framework, you've got a winner.
Yes, well, some people are concerned that it has biases philosophically or politically. Yes, it does. It was humans for humans, and you just have to work around that. So, for example, the examples that I've given you really they're business focused. They're not so focused on philosophy or politics. So you just need to know that there are biases there. But one of the things that's so powerful about it is this research aspect. So let's just say that I used it, as I have, to say, okay, so for a thought leader like Aaron, act as my market researcher and tell me what are the main obstacles people have using artificial intelligence to create their content. And it's going to spit out a number of things. Now, it's better than a Google search. Google search spits out article, link. ChatGPT automatically goes through and filters through all of those and comes back with the best answers. And ChatGPT is free. Now, they've just introduced, just last week, a paid version. The paid version is called Plus. ChatGPT Plus is $20 a month. And with that version, you go to the front of the line in terms of not having to wait. One of the issues with ChatGPT right now, it's grown so quickly. In fact, it was the fastest growing platform of all time. Within 1 week, it amassed over 1 million users. No other platform has done that so far. So it amassed over 1 million new users, and there's a lot of waiting. So often people will go to it and wait, and it'll give you funny responses while you're waiting. The one that I really liked, it came back to me with, as if it were Shakespeare. Oh, better to wait than I forgot what all it said, but it was really quite funny and entertaining. But that was happening, and that happens on the free version still. But now there's the paid version. People like me who are frequent users and who want to have access to it all the time, this is a nice improvement. But there are so many tools. This is one. It's very popular. It's very good. But there are tools to create the text, the text, which is what ChatGPT does. There are tools to create art or images. There are tools to create, let's see, video as well as audio. So you had a nice introduction there for me in the beginning that wasn't your voice. You could have created that using artificial intelligence very easily.
Oh, wow. Great. I'm going to do it. You and I are talking afterwards. And for the audience out there that's going to watch this on replay, feel free to, number one, subscribe to Stroke TV Media YouTube channel. And then feel free to ask Gina or myself questions and chat for afterwards. And we'll be more than happy to get back to you. But I'll get together with Gina and we'll put links to this AI, because me with speech deficit could really use it.
Oh, it's so powerful. You take you get ChatGPT to write here's just an idea that a lot of people are using to make money on YouTube and make money on people buying their products and services, is they'll get ChatGPT to generate a quick script. They move that script into a video software such as InVideo, invideo.com is a service, and it will automatically pull up pictures. So for example, one of my passions is whole food, plant-based living, which has really helped me. It's helped me reverse aging and have a lot of energy and feel great and lose a ton of weight that's I've kept off effortlessly. And so I might create a channel that's dedicated to that, and I don't even need to go on and do videos. I can create the script. It automatically pulls in pictures that are appropriate, load it up into YouTube, click the publish button, and voila, there's a potential money asset right there. That's not even my voice. It's just really amazing.
Wow. I can admit, early on, I kind of put my shield against AI because it felt like it was replacing the human energy, the human spirit. But if used correctly, like you're saying, and you let it write the framework and do its job, like infuse and do the voiceovers and stuff, it really is a moneymaker, really is. So you and I can talk because I want to use it.
Yes. So it definitely is a money maker, and it's a powerful communication tool. Is it going to replace jobs? Yes, it will replace jobs, just as the car replaced the horse and buggy, and so many positions. I worked for General Electric in Appliance Park in Louisville, Kentucky, back in, this would have been 1978, 79, and they brought in one of the first robots for line. And of course, there was a lot of people upset. Oh, they're going to replace people. Well, they're replacing people that were doing things that were very heavy and dangerous and monotonous, things that people, soul-sucking jobs that people didn't want to do anyway. So this is one of those things that has the internet replaced jobs? Yeah, the internet has replaced jobs and created jobs. And so here's one of the ways this is going to be used in the future. They say that it will be almost like malpractice for a lawyer to go into court without having AI as a co-pilot. Same thing for a doctor. Same thing for an accountant, for many fields. This is essentially a virtual assistant that runs 24/7, that doesn't need coffee breaks, that doesn't need time off, that doesn't need to be paid by the hour. And so, yeah, I'm incredibly excited about it.
Well, you got me excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And like I said, we're talking. And for those people, again, we're going to put chats or links that you can learn more about AI, because it really is going to change the world. It already is changing the world. So it's amazing. And I know Gina right now is lagging, her video is lagging between the voice. And she did not, but just close your eyes if you need to. But I tell you, it's the information she's given us. You out there, you want to increase your impact, listen to what you're saying, because I'm telling you, you're head over heels with this AI.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that when you look at the YouTubers or the bloggers or the podcasters who have had a lot of success, often it's because they create more content. They're out there more than other people. And this is one of those tools that enable you to think of, okay, what am I going to write about today? It gets rid of writer's block. What am I going to write about? What am I going to do my video about? What can I talk about today when we think we've run out of ideas? Oh, ask my virtual assistant. assistant, GPT chat. What should I write? What is a big obstacle for using artificial intelligence for authors today? Chat. In seconds. These responses come back to you in seconds, and they're good. You can say, write it with a Robin Williams flair. So you can put a funny spin on it and a more casual tone, or you can add a more formal tone. Anyway, it's just amazing.
That is really neat. So, Libby, I want to know something about you a little personally. I mean, you're an amazing person as far as business goes. I really appreciate your friendship. But how did you get into, I'm curious, how did you get into what you're doing? You went to MIT, you went to Georgia Tech. How did you make what was your stroke of genius, basically, that brought you in from going to your normal high school to where you're at and doing your entrepreneurial work, helping people?
That's a very great and kind question. Thank you. I attended school in Georgia, in Atlanta. At that time, the county I was in, Cobb County, was considered the worst of all the counties in Georgia, in Atlanta. My high school was the worst in that county. So it's like the bottom of the barrel. And so how did I succeed? Well, I had great parents, and I was the eldest, and they weren't helicopter parents by any means. They both worked they worked all the time, it seemed. And in any case, I was a hard worker. I guess I took their example of being a hard worker, and I just applied myself. I had successes in the early days. I had a great first grade teacher. I didn't go to kindergarten, but I had a great first grade teacher, Mrs. Archer. And she just set a good foundation. I had successes. I was rewarded and acknowledged, and I just made it my goal. Every test, I should make 100. And if I didn't make 100, the question was probably wrong. That was my mindset, and that carried me through a lot through high school and through college. At Harvard in the MBA program, that was a little different. There were exams, but most of the work there was in a live classroom where it was Socratic method, where people had to raise their hands and give an answer and talk. And it wasn't as easy for me as I thought it would be. I was a little bit intimidated by some of my fellow classmates. And I'm from Atlanta, and people would say, oh, the girl with the accent. And so I kind of, if you have a British accent, you automatically are assumed to be 10 IQ points higher than you probably are. But if you have a Southern accent, you're assumed to be 10 IQ points lower than you are. So that was a bit of a factor for me. But that's a great question. Stroke of genius. I would just say that I recognize that with hard work, I could outwork the really smart people.
Yeah, I know people don't know this, but before Gina I went on air, the first thing I had to ask her, you had great parents, didn't you? Because your parents they give you the motivation, the inspiration that I can do this attitude. And I think it's amazing. It really comes through most people. That was really awesome. So there's a shout out to Gina's parents who made you. So I know they're probably passed away like mine, but hey, their energy is still with us. So appreciate that. But I'm curious, Gina, as we see the business community now transitioning from online because of COVID, going back to mainstream, are you seeing? Are you out there doing? Do you do your work in person? Do you speak in person? How do people get to know you?
Well, I speak in person occasionally, but not very much these days. Mostly I speak online. Through COVID, well, in advance of COVID, I had already started a program called Video Rock Starz. I started that with my fiance, Terry Brock, and my partner, Lori Brown. And so we were focused on helping people. It's almost like a virtual Toastmasters. Get on the camera, present, get feedback. And so when COVID came along, we were well positioned to help a lot of people very quickly, because most of our speaking friends, professional speaking friends, which is most of our world, mine and my fiance's world, they got canceled. And so they weren't going to the stages, the physical stages, and they needed to know how to present on camera. So we were able to help a lot of people convert their business to online very quickly. And so I present mostly online, and you can find out more about me at, I lead weekly training classes at starkravingevent.com. And this course on artificial intelligence for next week is going to be at content2cash.com. That's the number 2, content2cash.com. You can register for it there. And then you can go to Linktree Gina Carr to get in touch with me on social media. So those are some of the best ways to get in touch with me.
Just so I know, you do a lot. So, what is the name of your website? Give us your website to get on you.
My main website is ginacarr.com. Make it really easy there, GICARR.com. And my main program is called Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. And just to the point of what we talked about earlier, we've created a playground for stark raving entrepreneurs, people who are a little bit unemployable, right? People who want the freedom of their own choices to be able to decide what they want to do with their lives and to make as much money as they want to make and not have those restrictions. I remember when I had a real job back after I graduated from Georgia Tech, that very first year I got a 3% pay raise. Oh my gosh, really? And I had no control over that, whether I was the best employee or not. Everybody got a 3% pay raise. Well, I want to be in charge of my own pay raises, right? I want to be in charge of my own ability to share value in the world and to be compensated for it.
Gina, we're down the end of the show. Like I really personally, as a stroke survivor, because my stroke of genius was an actual stroke, but it has been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to work with you more in the future. You are just opened my mind up to a lot of opportunities. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you and just so people know, we are going to be adding links to everything we talked about. And Gina and I will get together and links for you to get together. But I encourage you to reach out to her. And I know I'm excited. I'm leaving the show really pumped. To be honest with you, I'm just pumped. Thank you for being here, Gina.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I just really applaud what you're doing and admire what you're doing, Aaron. It's been great getting to know you.
Gina. Thank you. Bye, Gina. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay.